One of the popular adages nowadays is fail fast, and I have a friend who likes to say, enjoy the pain, you've earned it. Failure seems to be one of those things that we all aspire to, but I think that Mark Andreessen put it best in Tool of Titans when he said, or when Tim Ferriss quoted, "My goal is not to fail fast. My goal is to succeed over the long run. They're not the same thing." And that's true. Our goal is not to fail, but failure is part of the process. Instead, to succeed over the long run, we need iterations, both successes and failures, and we need to learn from them, perform an autopsy on what we did. And although it's more painful to perform an autopsy now than it is later, the short-term and long-term consequences of an action are often opposite. By performing an autopsy now and figuring out what worked and what didn't, we learn more. So there's a 4-step process for performing an autopsy on what you did. Step 1 is getting honest. We're trying to be honest, not mean though. So if you're bad, say you're bad, but you aren't a coward or terrible. Be like Gordon Ramsay or Simon Cowell. It's not mean.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Well, it is, but it's honest. The second part is all about figuring out what it is you did. Go through and get the processes that you went through. Just list step by step, and then rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how much effort you put into each one of those steps. The thing is that most of the time, failure is due to misappropriated effort. You put effort in the wrong spot. But there are some benefits to doing whatever you did. So that's step 3. Write down the pros and cons of the process overall. What worked, what didn't? What were some unexpected benefits? What was that one critical step that you missed? And then step 4, get solutions to it. You can do this by either reading more, or by talking to somebody who's done it, or by just brainstorming solutions of what could possibly be done. But the hardest part of failing is not so much figuring out what happened or what went wrong, it's dealing with the pain of continuing. And that is difficult. So to fix this, what we need to do is slow down and go to a higher level of purpose. I think Einstein said that you can't solve problems on the same level of consciousness that they were created on. And to go higher, we need to slow down and pay attention to our breath. That gets our rational mind involved. But then, to keep ourselves from rationalizing our way out of a problem, we need to come up with a reason outside of ourselves to continue. This could be how happy or upset it would make somebody else to continue or to give up, but I like to focus on feeling indifferent. There is a lot of philosophy about Stoicism from this, and this is Marcus Aurelius's book, Meditations. This is his personal diary of how to deal with the hardships of life, and he says in it, to ponder the condition of the soul of the body when death comes for us, the shortness of life, vastness of time before and after, and the fragility of matter. And again, it's a really happy book, cheers you right up, but feeling that insignificance is always comforting because it really in the long run, it doesn't matter what you do. So after you come up with that higher level thing and you can rationalize your way out of giving up, then we have to get ourselves to continue going. And we do this by setting short-term goals in the outside world. It's stuff like, at the top of the minute, I'm going to get started again and finish the set, or I'm going to just run to that next tree, and so on and so forth. Set outside goals, and just small ones, and our goal is just to keep doing that. I remember that I learned pickup, and that was probably the one thing I failed at the most in my life. I constantly just would, oh my god. But it's one of those things that I probably learned the most from that, because I kept giving myself iterations. And even though years later I still feel that twinge of pain when I go up and talk to somebody new for the first time, I've learned not to mind it, to be indifferent to it, to continue whether or not it's there. I know that I won't do as well, but I still do it because sometimes I surprise myself, sometimes I learn, and ultimately I have a personal standard for myself that I will do it because I enjoy it. My goal is to succeed in the long run, not to fail in the short run. And that requires iterations, both successes and failures. And that's the best feeling in the world. Grow. And as always, thanks for getting better.